If I asked you right now lower class, middle class, or upper class, what would you say? Most people answer this question based on how they feel. Some think about their salary. Others think about the car they drive, the house they live in, or even the lifestyle they're trying to maintain. But the truth is, none of these things actually define your wealth class. Wealth has nothing to do with appearances. It comes down to a single number, your net worth. And when most people calculate that number honestly for the first time, they realize something shocking. They're not where they thought they were. Today, we're going to walk step by step through the wealth ladder and break down exactly what it takes to move from one level to the next. To make this real, we'll follow the story of Arjun, a 33-year-old earning $78,000 a year who believes he's comfortably middle class, but in reality, he's sitting much lower than he thinks. Let's start with the most important concept that almost nobody understands correctly: the difference between income and wealth. Income is simply the money you earn, your salary, your business profits, or your side hustle earnings. But wealth is something entirely different. Wealth is what you keep. It's what remains after everything is counted, what you own minus what you owe. Your net worth is calculated by adding up all your assets, your savings, investments, property, car, and retirement accounts, and then subtracting all your liabilities like loans, credit card balances, mortgages, and any other debts. This one number is the ultimate scoreboard of your financial life. It doesn't matter if you make $50,000 or $500,000 a year. If your liabilities cancel out your assets, you are not wealthy. Now let's look at Arjun's situation. On paper, he seems to be doing fine. He earns $78,000 annually, which is above average. He has a decent apartment, drives a good car, and lives what most people would call a comfortable life. But when we break down his actual financial position, things start to look very different. Arjun has about $32,000 in total assets. This includes his savings, a small retirement account, and the current value of his car. But on the other side, he owes $41,000 in total debt, including student loans, credit cards, and a car loan. When we subtract his debts from his assets, we get a net worth of negative $9,000. That means despite earning a solid income, Arjun is technically in the bottom 25% in terms of wealth. This is where most people get trapped. They confuse a comfortable lifestyle with actual financial progress. They upgrade their lifestyle as their income increases: better apartments, newer phone, expensive subscriptions, but they never actually build assets. This creates the illusion of wealth, while the reality stays the same or even gets worse. To move out of this bottom bracket, Arjun needs to climb into what we call the lower middle class range, which typically starts around $25,000 in net worth and goes up to about $185,000. To even enter this level, Arjun needs to close a gap of over $34,000. That can be done in two ways, either by reducing debt or by increasing assets. Most people in this bracket reach it through home ownership. As they pay off their mortgage, they slowly build equity. On paper, this increases their net worth, but there's a hidden problem here. A large portion of their wealth is locked inside their house, making it illiquid. In reality, many of these households only have about $10,000 to $20,000 in accessible cash. This makes them extremely vulnerable to emergencies. Now let's move to the median wealth level. The median net worth sits around $200,000. This is the point where half the population has more and half has less. At first glance, $200,000 might sound like a comfortable number, but when you dig deeper, you realize that a big portion of this wealth is tied up in home equity. If you remove that, the actual liquid net worth drops significantly, often to around $35,000 or $45,000. This explains why so many people who consider themselves middle class are still financially stressed. They might own a house and have some retirement savings, but they lack liquidity. One unexpected expense like a medical bill, job loss, or major repair can push them into debt again. As we move higher into the upper middle class range, between $200,000 and $650,000. Something important changes. Wealth is no longer accidental, it becomes intentional. Instead of relying only on home equity, people in this bracket actively invest their money. They put funds into stocks, index funds, retirement accounts, and sometimes even businesses. By the time someone reaches around $500,000 in net worth, their wealth is usually split more evenly. About half may be in home equity, and the other half in investments. This is where compound growth begins to play a powerful role. Money starts working for them instead of the other way around. Next comes the upper class bracket, which typically ranges from $650,000 to around $1.8 million. At this level, investments dominate. Around 70% to 75% of net worth is usually held in assets that generate return, stocks, funds, or income-producing investments. The house is no longer the main asset. What's interesting is that reaching this level doesn't necessarily require an extremely high income. It requires consistency and discipline. For example, if someone invests $1,200 every month at an average return of 7% over 20 years, they can build a substantial portfolio. When combined with home equity and other assets, this alone can push them into the upper class range. Beyond this lies the top 10%, which starts around $1.8 million in net worth. At this stage, wealth behaves very differently. A portfolio of $1.8 million can generate approximately $70,000 to $75,000 per year in passive income, depending on the returns. This means a person could technically sustain their lifestyle without relying on active work. Work becomes optional, time becomes flexible, financial stress drops significantly, while the top 1% may start at much higher levels around $12 million or more. Reaching the top 10% is still achievable for many people, with the right strategy and enough time. But there's another critical factor that most people ignore: the age factor. Comparing your net worth without considering your age is meaningless. A 25-year-old and a 65-year-old are in completely different financial phases. For example, the median net worth for people under 35 is around $40,000. For those aged 35 to 44, it rises to about $140,000, and it peaks between ages 65 to 74, roughly for $120,000. This means your financial progress should always be measured relative to your age group. Now let's go back to Arjun. At 33 years old, with a net worth of negative $9,000, he falls well below the average for his age. In fact, he's closer to the bottom 10% of his peer group. But here's the good news: his future is not fixed. His financial trajectory depends entirely on the choices he makes. From this point forward, let's look at 3 possible paths for Arjun. In the first scenario, he does nothing. He continues his current lifestyle, makes minimum payments on his debts, and doesn't invest consistently. Over the next 20 years, he slowly improves, but not by much. By age 53, his net worth reaches only around $130,000, which is far below the average for that age group. In the second scenario, he becomes intentional. He cuts unnecessary expenses and frees up around $600 per month. He focuses on paying off his debt quickly and then redirects that money into investments. Over time, compound growth starts to build momentum. By age 53, his net worth reaches approximately $520,000, placing him firmly in the upper middle class. In the third and most aggressive scenario, Arjun goes all in. He increases his income through skill upgrades or side hustles, reduces major expenses by making smarter living decisions, and invests around $1,400 every month. Over 20 years, this creates exponential growth. By age 53, he crosses the $1 million mark, entering the upper class category. The difference between these 3 outcomes is not luck, talent, or even income level. It's simply awareness and action. The moment you understand your numbers and start making intentional decisions, your entire financial future can change. The journey from negative net worth to financial independence is not easy, but it is simple. It's based on basic math, consistency, and time. Most people never move up the wealth ladder because they never take the time to calculate where they actually stand. The biggest financial advantage you can have is not a higher salary, it's clarity. When you know your net worth, understand how money grows, and make decisions accordingly, you put yourself in control. The wealth ladder is not fixed, it's flexible, and no matter where you are right now, you have the ability to move up step by understanding the math and taking action.